Nigerian government is intensifying efforts to rescue the remaining abducted schoolgirls after one of the 25 students kidnapped from the government girls' comprehensive secondary school in KEBBI State managed to escape, following a violent attack in which the vice principal was killed. Security forces, including the military and local vigilantes, are combing forests in surrounding areas in a large-scale search operation. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has postponed his planned trips to South Africa and Angola to oversee security briefings, directing all intelligence and military agencies to prioritize the rescue mission, while Vice President Kashim Shettima travels to KEBBI to meet families and officials. Government leaders have assured the public that all available resources are being deployed, urging communities to support security agencies with information as the search for the remaining girls continues. Good evening and welcome to Active Citizens Parliament. Right here on Active Citizens, I'm your host Sharon Enem Chuku. Joining me live in the studio, as always, I have with me my co-host in person of Ifoma Oji. Good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, Sharon.
How are you doing?
Good. I'm good.
It is interesting in what we've been seeing going on for the past hour, right? Even since Monday, from the KEBBI attack to the KWARA attack, it has been an interesting fold of events, though disheartening. Now all hands are on deck, watching to see what exactly the presidency, the state governors and military agencies are going to do. Now, first off, we start with the rescued, or not just rescued, the student that was able to escape. Now, this happened, these incidents took place on Monday, and till now we've seen no rescue or the profits of that rescue mission. We're just seeing one student who has been able to escape and another who also escaped but was not part of the 25 students that were counted. Now, this is interesting to see, but I'm just going to ask one question, Ifoma. Hours later, we are yet to hear an updated information on the rescue mission. What we are seeing is one student that was able to escape. Let's have your thoughts on the fact that although the government is promising that they're doing everything they can, we've still not seen any headway after the abductions.
Sharon, let me tell you the honest truth. The government is not doing anything. The governor of KEBBI and the governor of KWARA State, they are not doing anything. I am telling you the honest truth. All these things are just mere talks, mere rantings. They are definitely not doing anything. Now, for you to see that they are not doing anything, did you see a video of the vice president arriving in KEBBI State?
Exactly.
To console the families? Do you see the paparazzi going on there? Do you see the meet and greets that they were doing there? It's the first thing that he's supposed to do, not to slap the governor. It's the first thing that he's supposed to do, not to slap all those people that are seated there. He's busy giving them handshake. Handshake, well done for what? For allowing your people to be plunged in insecurity? For allowing the girls for their lives to be at risk? I really do not understand what was going on in that plane arrival of the vice president, because it was rubbish for me. It was total rubbish. I was expecting him to reprimand the governor of the state. I was seeing the governor of the state smiling. Why are you smiling? Your people are suffering. Your people are in pain. Your people are bleeding. You're smiling and shaking hands.
It was rather
supposed to be in deep pain.
That's what a lot of people were saying. The fact that they still maintained or they observed all protocols because they had the arrival of the vice president when we have 25 students. And we're even hearing that it's actually more, but they say 25 abducted schoolgirls and people that were killed. The vice principal of that school was killed. Let's also talk about, the fact that one out of the 25 was able to escape. And looking at it from the perspective now of the bandits, do you think that her being able to escape just shows that there might still be a weakness within the bandits camp?
If there is weakness, we wouldn't be seeing recurring incidents like this. That she escaped, we don't know. She's here to tell us the story behind her escape. But what I'm trying to tell you right now is that there is even possibility that they allowed her to escape, at least one person to escape, to play with the government and play with intelligence. You understand? That escape for me, one out of how many persons that were kidnapped. See, I'm still finding the right words, because the only thing that I'm seeing right now is the government, the governor, the administration that do not give an actual, I don't want to say that word, but they don't care about their citizens. Now it is this same government that went to the Senate House, in the National House of Assembly. They were debating on how to make cattle the #1 citizen of Nigeria. Cattle, they were debating. I don't know if you saw that video. These people were having debates, discussions on whether cattle should be regarded as citizens of Nigeria. Should I talk about the KEBBI incidents that happened in March? For me to tell you that this government are not ready to do anything. All they are ready to do is just to make promises, write it and put it on the social media outlets or the news outlets. Right. The KEBBI attack is an example. When it happened in March earlier this year, they did nothing. The only thing that the governor did was to meet the families of these people, console them and promise them that he was going to tighten security. But months later, what happened? Nothing. This is yet another attack and nothing is being done. It will give you the proof that they are doing absolutely nothing.
You mentioned security and the governor promising to tighten security. There has also been a video where we saw the military officer coming out to complain about ambushes and how they've lost young soldiers to ambush, and complaining about the security. Even within the security agency, we saw the killing of the brigadier. Even though he was in contact with other military personnel, someone somehow exposed his exact location, and that was what led to his killing. Let's talk about the security personnel now and how they have been, the challenges that they are facing currently when it comes to the ambush that they face on the road or in the bushes, and also the supposed mole in their midst.
Is it not the person that feeds well that will protect people? This ambush here and there, if these people were given proper care, if they were staffed, if they were not underfunded, wouldn't they be delivering? Wouldn't they be protecting people's lives? Now, some people have taken it upon themselves. I give them kudos to protect people, but yet you don't give them enough, ammunition. You don't equip them. How are they supposed to protect people? I really do not understand how. How exactly? The one that is really disheartening and making me like run some little, craziness is the fact that the president of the United States of America said that he was going to come and stop this incessant attacks, and everybody's running helter-skelter to do what? To do nothing. You are protecting your national resources. You are a sovereign state. Sovereign states, national resources that you are talking about here. Where is the natural resources? As a citizen of Nigeria, have you ever gotten anything as a citizen of Nigeria from these natural resources? If the president of the US want to take charge Nigeria, if they want to colonize Nigeria, they should come and colonize Nigeria, because I don't understand the country that we are living in.
You have changed your stance.
No, at this point,
in the beginning, you were actually saying that there might be a possibility that they are coming.
Sharon, let me tell you, there is no resources. Are you benefiting anything from the government?
This was not what
I am not benefiting anything. They should come and take over. We need another colonization. If they have special
interests, also talk about the president's decision to postpone his traveling. He has come out to say that he's postponing his travel to South Korea and Angola. He was supposed to leave for South Korea for the G20 summit, and we're seeing now he's postponing that travel. Now let's talk about the significance. How significant do you think is his postponement of his travels with what's currently happening in the country?
There's no significance. See, Sharon, you see, the way I'm talking to you right now, I promise you that every Nigerian citizen is more aggrieved, is more like angry. They have much anger in them to actually lash out. We saw the video of the man in, is it USA or abroad? was lashing out on Super Eagles Falcons because of how depressed and frustrated they are on the state of the insecurity apparatus in Nigeria, the insecurity in Nigeria. You understand? Every Nigerian citizen, they are aggrieved. Every Nigerian citizen is angry. Everybody is tired of waking up every single day, hearing news of their loved ones being attacked, hearing news of people dying every single day. It is tiring. And the honest truth is that everybody have lost hope. The president that is supposed to serve as a beacon of hope, the people, they have been calling on him, they have been protesting. This is the same government that people will protest and they will tear gas them, they will shoot sporadically. But when it is time for them to protect these same people, they will allow terrorists to be killing them day by day. What are you telling me, that the president is doing what? He's postponing? I don't care. Nigerians do not care about his postponement. He can go ahead and go to anywhere that he wants to go to. We do not care. I think the only thing that I'm going to say to everybody watching me from KEBBI, from Katsina, from KWARA, all the states that have received this massive attack and reoccurrence every single time, it is time for you to procure arms. Bring arms and protect your family, protect your community, because if you're counting on the security apparatus in Nigeria, if you're counting on the presidency, they are not going to do anything. They are complicit, they are compromised. How are you counting on security operatives when these people don't even have enough feeding? They feed on biscuits. How will they protect you?
Security in Nigeria is something that is very alarming, and when you talk about Nigerian citizens, all of us here are feeling the brunt of this particular actions, because before now the Nigerian president recorded over 40 trips in less than 18 months in 2025 from 2024 even. And it is really interesting to see that just after the president of the United States labeled Nigeria as a country of particular concern, we're hearing for the first time in a while that he has postponed his trip for the G20 summit. Now, for that particular summit, it was actually, from what we heard from the federal government, that was supposed to be a meeting point for Donald Trump and the Nigerian president to talk about the issues they are facing via terrorism. Now, we saw Donald Trump coming to say that he was not going to appear at the G20 summit because of where it was being held, which is South Africa. Now, he just found it problematic that South Africa was holding that with all that was going on in South Africa as well. Now, the Nigerian president has come out to say he is postponing his trip for the G20 summit as well. Let's talk about, right, what this means for us. Let's look at schools, because it's a school that was attacked, right, in KEBBI State. Now, we saw what happened in KWARA, in the church in KWARA, but let's take a look at schools, because these are young girls, and this happened years ago with the Borno girls as well that were kidnapped and abducted. With all of this safety of schools that we've been talking about since 2010, with what happened, what can we do to better protect our schools? Or do we think that these bandits are actually going to succeed with their aim of ensuring that people do not go to schools?
I think, first of all, there should be state of emergency in the educational sector and the security sector. There should be serious state of emergency. Now, the state of emergency that we've seen so far is the state of emergency in Rivers State, which was uncalled for. Now, you called for state of emergency where two people were having disputes. You cannot call for the same state of emergency in states that have been receiving massive attacks. Now, I believe everybody on social media have been lending their voice, from Arise News to TVC to channels to Al Jazeera, name it. Everybody is mentioning this thing, and they are telling the presidency to focus on the grassroots. Call these communities together, have a round table discussion with them, discover what is going on, why are they having these incessant and recurring attacks. Get to hear from them one-on-one. Stop this band-aid treatment. It's not helping at all. I mentioned in one of our shows that the reason why this attack is happening is because, number one, there might be farmer and header clashes that is going on in communities. These are things that you're supposed to find out as the chief security officer of the state or the nation. That is number one. Now that this particular attack is reoccurring, is because of the fact that there is a lot of land disputes between communities. That is another reason. And then another reason that this thing is happening is all these mineral resources, the states that is located in, people are having disputes as regards who is to own this particular, mineral resources. And this is what the government is supposed to be concerned about. Boots should be on ground. If you're talking about security apparatus, give them, equip them. Most of them will tell you the Zamfara state governor came out the other time and said that he knows the terrains of these people.
Right? Because these are small town communities where these attacks have been happening. Let's talk about how these communities can improve early warning. Do we think it's possible that they can have a sort of intelligence before these raidings happen, because these bandits have intelligence on where they're going to attack? Is there a way that there is a system that can be created to ensure that these small communities have a heads up before these bandits attack?
Is it from the community power or from the security apparatus?
From the security in the communities.
It's quite funny, this particular question, because how are the security agencies or the policemen supposed to alert the community when the policemen are not even properly funded? Their vehicles are not fueled. How are they? Is it on foot that they will do that? These are people that will go to the checkpoints and they'll be collecting arms from people. If they are being paid well, will they be doing that? I am not at this point seeking accountability from the security apparatus. I'm not doing anything like that. If I am to talk about the community alerting its people, remember that in every disciple there must be a Judas. Now, why are they a Judas? It's because these community people have resulted to actually kind of implicating others because of the fact that they are not living well. There is inflation. They are finding ways to survive in Nigeria. When you have somebody that will pay you, why won't you rat your community out? Why won't you give more like this in order for people to come and kidnap and abduct a lot of people from your community? When you are getting the funds, you do their biddings.
Now, let's talk also about how maybe we can include or find a way to find a sort of diplomatic or regional measures. Now, instead of finding one cure for the entire region, finding cures, finding solutions for each of these regions and what is peculiar to them. We talked about in the morning about the issue of bushes and these bandits escaping via those bushes and hiding via those bushes. And we also talked about how our border in Nigeria is porous. Now, what recommendation for each of these regions can we give in order to ensure that for those communities, and when I speak of security, I'm also speaking of the community that provide these securities. It doesn't have to be from the federal government or the state government. If you have vigilantes, all still part of security apparatus. Now let's talk about how they can try to protect those communities and not, using one band-aid treatment for the entire region.
I think in communities, I think it's time for the stakeholders or the community leaders to come together and have serious meeting. Let everybody air their opinion. If everybody air their opinion, let them see how they can procure arms. Let them see how the security apparatus can actually be equipped and strengthened to fight these people, since the federal government is unresponsive.
And
I think at this
do about funding as well. Like where do you suggest we get those fundings for these arms?
That's where the problem lies right now, because I believe that if everybody in the community brings out money from their purses, they can actually procure some level of arms. Not just that, they equally have other communities that at least are safe for now, other states that are safe for now. Let the governor speak. A lot of monies have been allotted to him on security, on a lot of things. Why don't he curb money? If these people are you really prioritize them, bring that money from your private purse. If it is too much, come to Nigerians and talk to Nigerians and make it open. Form a committee, an independent committee. Let people transfer money into those funds and curb insecurity. It is that simple. If you can't handle insecurity, let people that, yes, let people that can help you to curb this. And to be honest, it's still paining me that I'm still seeing video of the vice president of Nigeria shaking hands with these people. He would have come with gold medals and given them, so that I will know that, oh, this is he has really come to give them hope or console the families of these people. He's not even consoling the families of these people. He is consoling the governor of these states.
Exactly.
He is.
And then, you know, it is very common to see situations like this where Nigerians would expect urgent attention and response to cases and situations like this where people have been killed and abducted, but the urgency approach with the Nigerian government cannot be seen. You can't really see and feel that pulse of urgency, especially when you see videos like this. It really doesn't help. Now let's also talk about the fact that 1 out of the 25 girls abducted in KEBBI State has returned. Now, looking at the psychological support mechanisms that should be prepared for rescued girls and their families, because I believe it's going to be one of the most traumatic experiences to have been abducted at your school at that particular age, being a teenager. Now, both for the girl that was abducted and for her family as well, do you think the government, first of all, is putting, you know, consideration to the psychological well-being of these people that have been able to be rescued or escaped from the grasp of these bandits? And if not, what should they do to make that presence well known?
The government is not doing anything. The governor is not doing anything. Like, I am promising you, is it not the same administration? Is it not these people that we've seen since 2023? They are not doing anything. All these things, they are just copy and paste. Copy and paste. Copy. That's what they are doing. They are not doing anything. They are not even, even the visitation to families. They are not visiting any family. They are just making us, they just want to confuse us. They just want to make it look as if they are actually working. There is no action, Sharon. If there is action, when it happened months ago, they should have taken action. They should have acted upon it and done something about it. Then, talking about what can be done, I think that government must do more than just talk. We are tired. Nigerians are tired of this incident. Nigerians are sad. The sadness is tiring. We are tired. Yes, so do more than just talk, and then both should be on ground.
Of these kids that have escaped, we're talking about their psychological health and the state of their mind and how it would be for them to reintegrate themselves back into the society.
It will definitely be very difficult.
Now, what should
this is a traumatic.
Because I don't think we have seen enough of that presence when it concerns attending to these people's psychologically.
As a Nigerian, I wouldn't even be counting on the government. I will actually be counting on the parents of these people. No, what I'm saying right now, I think at this point, their children should be the #1 priority right now. I know that they have been a lot. They have gone through a lot at this moment or this period that this whole thing happened. But the child, first of all, there is a lot going on in that child's mind. That is such a traumatic event. The child has not experienced such. So this child needs rehab. This child needs to go for brain evaluation. They need to really check this child and see if they can rearrange this child and see if they can actually bring back. I know it's not possible to actually for the child to start living as normal as other kids, but at the same time, something can actually be done by the parents, and maybe the parents too can actually go for rehab. Exactly. But counting on the presidency, they should not.
It would affect them, and you don't see them coming out fully.
They can't go for rehab.
Let's talk about the long term. Right, let's look long term about how this can affect the lives of these kids even after being rescued, because we were talking about bring back our girls and asking the government to rescue our girls. That is beautiful. That would be absolutely amazing, but the fact still remains that you can't take away the event that has happened, and the best point of action is going to be to prevent issues like this from happening. Now let's talk about long term. into the society now, integrating themselves back into the society on a longer term, do we see a population, because there have been a lot of abducted youths and teenagers, do we see a population that is going to struggle with trauma? And if that is supposed to be the case, what would that look like for us as a nation? What picture do you think that would paint as a nation?
I think it will actually be hard, extremely hard to be reintegrated into the society, because this is an incident that they haven't witnessed before. Coming to witness that is actually quite disheartening. So I think it will definitely be difficult for them, but at the same time, I think with love and care from the family, from the community, they can actually, you know, pull through. And then what is it going to look for Nigerians? I tell you, that kind of feeling, that kind of mindset, I just pray it does not destroy more younger people coming up. Because imagine telling your child growing up that, okay, this is exactly what happened to me years ago. Imagine the fear that will implant in that child. It is not a good look. It's not giving something, you know, comfortable or a good look for, you know, people around or for a long term. So I think, but at the same time, I think with prayer and with care and with love, they can actually pull through it. Yeah.
Now, there's something that you made mention which I think is really profound. It is the point of fear. That fear that a lot of people have, even currently as we speak now. Earlier in the show this morning, we talked about the fact that these bandits, these terrorists, they don't just assassinate people, they don't just kill. It is the manner in which they do these acts, in which they perpetrate these crimes. They do it in the most gruesome way, killing people in the slowest, wickedest way ever. And more importantly, they record this and put it out there for us to see. Now, if you're putting out such gruesome video, I think the whole point of that is to instill fear. Fear in the hearts of Nigerians, to prevent them from speaking up and speaking out, because we can see exactly the fruit of that fear when we saw there's a video trending now along the road going to Enugu State, where there are motorists supposed to go to Enugu, but they heard of a kidnapping act going on just ahead of them, and all the cars stopped. Now, one thing I found really peculiar was that in the comment section, somebody said there is no how the number of these kidnappers is up to the people on the road, that there is a possibility because of number on the side of the motorists that they can overtake the kidnappers. But nobody was moving forward because of that fear. Do we think that even though we have not been kidnapped, there are Nigerians that have not been kidnapped, your siblings have not been kidnapped, you don't have a first-hand experience, do we think that even without having first-hand experience, Nigerians is also suffering from second-hand trauma and dealing with fear as it is?
Definitely. That video that you just talked about right now, I equally saw that video, and it was how all the cars, the vehicles were lined up. People came out making videos that this is what is going on in so place, and you could see, if I am to even say anything as regards, you see that the number of vehicles that were parked there were even more than the people that came to, you know, kidnap them or adopt or even, but nobody was moving. That is that same second-hand trauma that has been translated or transferred to people. Everybody is literally living in fear. Everybody is living in fear of the unknown, fear of the known,
fear of tomorrow,
sleeping and not being sure, sending your children to school with no guarantee of them returning back to you. It's such a sad situation, and I'm still pleading. Yes, exactly. You tell me how investors will come and invest in a country that is plunged with insecurity. There is no way. Even if that person is the dumbest investor, he will never. Seeing all these videos, seeing from the president of the United States of America, seeing from Riley Moore, seeing from Nicki Minaj, seeing from all these people, all the activities in Nigeria, do you think that with that first-hand information, with that kind of information, they will want to allocate their resources into a failed nation?
I don't think so, because it is also very sad that just months back we saw the presidency making statements like wanting to restore the dignity of Nigeria on the global stage and rebuilding the dignity of Nigeria on the global stage, but unbeknownst to them that just months later into the future, that just because of their compliance and their complacency to the insecurities befalling the northern Christians and just the northern region, it would be their undoing. Now, this is not a discussion or a conversation about them wanting to rebuild the image or the dignity of Nigeria. It is the constant killings, the constant attacks and insecurity that has bedeviled the nation, that has just opened up the true state of the nation to the world. And I think it is a very sad picture to look at. Anyways, thank you so much, Ifomoji, for joining me today for the discussion on Active Citizens Parliament. I'm your host, Sharon Chuku. If you're watching for the first time, please endeavor to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us across all social media at Active Citizens. You can find me across all social media as well at Sharon Chuku and Jiri Forma.
You can find me on Facebook at Oji Sophia and on Instagram at Misolex.
All right, so we'll come your way tomorrow. Do have a good evening.